Okay, welcome back everyone. We shall start with our second session for this webinar. So our fourth speaker will be Rezal Bohari. Mr. Rezal Bohari is a senior entomologist with the Ministry of Health Malaysia for 16 years. He is stationed in Sibu Divisional Health Office, Sarawak, which is located in the Borneo Island in East Malaysia. Rezal is responsible for the control of mosquito-borne diseases, dengue and malaria, and other medically important pests. Rezal, please share with us on how you and your team suppress and control dengue in Sibu Town, Sarawak.
Okay, thank you, Tio. So good morning, everyone. So welcome to my presentation slot. So as for today, I would like to share and allow me to share our experience in controlling dengue with Bacillus thuringiensis israelensis, or the short form is BTI, in our Sibu Town, Sarawak, Malaysia. So Sibu Division is one of the 12 administrative divisions of Sarawak, Malaysia, and is located in the island of Borneo. So the third largest division of the Miri Division and Kapit Division. So Sibu Division consists of 3 districts: Sibu District, Kanawit District, and Selangor District. So Sibu is capital city in the central region of Sarawak. So there are 2 major rivers in the Sibu Division, which we have the longest river in Malaysia, the Rejang Basin, and also the Igan River. So Sibu District is an administrative district in Sibu Division. So it can be divided into Sibu Town area and the rural area. So Sibu District has been known to be dengue prone, and outbreaks have reported since the 80s. So starting in week 23 in 2014, so Sibu District experiencing continuous episodes of dengue outbreak with more than 10 to 70 dengue cases reported each week. So Sibu District contributed nearly half of the cases in 2014 Sarawak dengue statistic, and by week 8 in 2015, with 62% of the dengue fever cases in Sarawak state were coming from Sibu District. So there are 2 local authorities, namely the Sibu Municipal Council, SMC, and the SRDC, Sibu Rural District Council, that administers Sibu City and Sibu rural areas. So in 2008, we have introduced and divided the city into 31 operational zones in the urban area. So the zoning was actually an arbitrary zoning along the main road border at each zone. So the zone may vary in size, number of houses, and population. So this zoning system actually have helped us in many ways to stratify dengue cases and for control purposes. So we have identified 3 important zones in the urban area based on the number of dengue cases. So the hotspot zones were namely Zone 5, Tongsang, Zone 7, Tionghoa, and Zone 14, Rejang. So this zone, Zone 7, Zone 5, and Zone 14 in Sibu District, Sarawak, Malaysia, have experienced intense dengue transmission in 2014 and later on continued in 2015. So as you can see on the screen, it shows the escalating trend of the weekly dengue cases in each zone respectively, in Zone 5, Zone 7, and Zone 14 from 2013 until 2015. So our study zone was in Zone 7, Tionghoa, based on the high number of cases from the other 2 zones. So the 2 other zones were selected as the control sites later. So in Zone 7, it was 131 hectare in size. The zone consists of residential and commercial building. So based on our previous survey, the larval habitats were predominantly outdoors. So this area also have dense vegetation, poor drainage with trash thrown to the drain, abandoned houses, and poor garbage disposal practice. So the current dengue strategy that have been implemented during at that time, adult deciding with pyrethroid and organophosphate, using thermal fogging and ultra low volume machine. So this data sending control activity was conducted once in every 3 days. Larviciding with thermophos in emulsion and sand granules formulation, and also with vector-back 12 aqueous suspension using hand pump sprayer in the surrounding area of the dengue cases homes. So the search and destroy activity, all potential larval habitats were also included into the dengue outbreak control. So removal of potential containers in illegal dumping site also conducted by the Sibu Municipal Council. So indoor aerosol insecticide spraying also be performed in case houses to kill any infected Aedes species mosquitoes. So, but however, despite intensive control measures, there was still persistent dengue outbreak and active transmission of the dengue virus for a stretch 57 weeks, starting from week 25 in 2014 until week 28 in 2015. So there are many contributing factors. One is the wide dengue outbreak area. Two is the widespread of small containers habitat and layers of cryptic containers. So it was impossible for us to treat the area by spot treatment and to have good spraying coverage due to the high numbers of containers. So this hand pump sprayer only able to do spot treatment. So when the sprayer came across breeding sites, so the sprayer also have limited dispersal swat from the sprayer, and this method of treatment unable to disperse the larvicide droplets into breeding grounds. So another factor could be due to partial susceptibility of our wild Aedes population to thermophos and adulticides. So our monitoring shows that Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus from the neighboring zone 6 and zone 14 have low larva mortality at WHO diagnostic dosage to thermophos. So at that point, to prevent and delay the widespread of thermophos resistant to other zones, so we decided to shift our spot treatment with chemical insecticide and bioinsecticide and introduce a new formulation, newer strength of 3000 ITU of PTI vegetable granules to zone 7 at week 19 in 2015. So we started the pilot operational study in 2015, and later in 2016 and onwards was the integration of WALS into our current strategy for dengue control. So in 2015 pilot operational study, it was divided into 4 phases: the baseline surveillance, the pre-treatment, treatment, and the post-treatment phase. So it was started at week 19 and ended at week 41. So during the pre-treatment phase, the training to the spraymen were conducted as we shifted our spot treatment to wide area of larvicide spraying. So as I mentioned earlier, the zone 7 was estimated 131 hectare in size, but our focus area for treatment of PTI is only 12 hectares. So the outdoor artificial and natural containers were treated with wide area spray application method using backpack and stir. So the spray means covering potential and actual door larva habitats, including natural containers with axial vegetation, dry leaves, and artificial containers such as animal feeds, concrete and earth drain, sunken ground below the houses, discarded containers, garbage dumping site, and roof gutters. So air treatment of walls with 3 units of backpack misting machine were conducted with phase 1 treatment, weekly treatment for 4 weeks, and then followed with fortnightly treatment for the subsequent 8 weeks. So the vector-back W dosage was 500 grams per hectare, and the spray mix was 1 to 5 grams in 12 liters of water. So the spraying was conducted at morning time between 8:30 and until 11:30. So the BTI mist spray were also performed and targeted abandoned houses, log houses, and higher levels of building. So the spraymen were trained to hold the spray pipe of the beast blower to provide optimum coverage of the larval habitats and to use the suitable metering knobs to ensure enough BTI mix to treat the larval habitats. So we also perform the direct application method where we put the BTI directly to the potable containers, targeted all indoor and outdoor induced artificial containers within the house compound. And it was only done once for new containers and we track the effectiveness. So, but however, we feel that this method are very laborious, and from our experience, this treatment method covered a very low percentage of the household. So because of that, we more focus on the outdoor BTI spray. So a pre-treatment spray application exercise was conducted to determine the penetration of BTI microdroplets to the larval habitats in the dense undergrowth and to reach habitats in the higher levels of buildings. So 20 transparent plastic containers without lids were placed randomly without the sprayman knowledge. So the containers were then collected and covered with lids 1 hour after spraying. So it was observed that the BTI droplets were effective for at least 21 days post-treatment with 97 to 100% larval mortality. So the mortality was recorded at 3 hours and 24 hours post-larval exposure. So the residual efficacy of the deposited BTI droplets in the containers was also measured on day 3, day 7, day 14, day 21, and day 28. So the larva mortality drastically reduced to 38% in the 28 days post-treatment samples. So in 2015, during the active dengue transmission in those hotspot sites, zone 7, zone 5, and zone 14, so our former public health medical officer in charge decided to evaluate the BTI larviciding with direct application and WALS into treatment area. So the impact of the outdoor treatment into cryptic containers with wide area BTI spray application was measured using the Orbitrat index. So in treated site, the Orbitrat index was suppressed and significantly lower in comparison to control site. So the Orbitrat index during the treatment phase was suppressed to less than 10%, a threshold value to initiate any vector control activity as the national Malaysian guidelines. So the Orbitrat index in control site remained high during the evaluation periods. So meanwhile, the impact of the direct BTI application into water holding containers was measured using the Aedes index and the Aedes larva pupa density. So Aedes index is significantly reduced during the treatment and post-treatment phases compared to control site. So there were no larvae and pupa production in the BTI treated containers during the treatment phase and the first 4 weeks of the post-treatment phase. So however, the containers were recolonized 5 weeks after the BTI treatment ended. So the impact of the larviciding with BTI on dengue cases was measured 4 weeks after we start on the BTI treatment. So the 4 weeks was classified as the window period where the surviving female adult mosquito were still able to transmit the dengue virus. So the integration of BTI treatment in the control program in 2015 has reduced the incidence rate by 51-fold reduction and maintained dengue free for at least 21 weeks. After the final treatment on week 35, except for we have 1 single cases on week 45. After that, no more cases until the end of the year. So however, the dengue cases resurfaced in week 4, 2016 in treated site. So this is because of the changes in the circulating dengue virus serotype in the community have led increase of the dengue cases. So where in 2014 and 2016, 2015, in the central region of Sarawak, it was dominated by dengue virus serotype 2, and while in 2016, the serotype were predominantly dengue virus serotype 1. So we activate once again the BTI WALS operation, but this time due to minimal workforce and logistic factor to combat the high magnitude of cases in other places. So we conducted only fortnightly BTI treatment on week 27, and cases start to decline with 6-fold reduction of incidence rate. So no cases recorded after week 37 and until the end of the year, except we have one single cases in week 39, week 42, and week 50. So no dengue outbreak were reported in the treatment site. So, but however, we saw observe a longer time span was taken for the impact of the BTI treatment in 2016 compared to 2015. And this could be due to not having a weekly wide area spray treatment at the start of the BTI larviciding program in 2016. So in non-BTI site, so in zone 5 and zone 14, where there is only conventional method control without the BTI WALS, only 6-fold of reduction of incident were observed in 2015. However, almost every week there were dengue cases in zone 5 and zone 14. And in zone 5, it was ended until week 44, but cases are still persist in zone 14. So compared to the BTI site, we have 51-fold of reduction. So in 2016, the control sites, there were dengue cases throughout the year and only 3-fold of reduction were observed. So compared to the BTI site with 6-fold of reduction. So this reduction in the control sites could be impacted by the intensive larviciding conducted once in every day in the district. So for full description of the study, you can read the published paper as shown on the screen. So starting from 2017 and until current time, the WALS activity was introduced and expanded to other zones, either as for control or outbreak management and preventive programs. So when COVID-19 hits the world in 2020, there were disruption of other disease prevention globally, including the dengue program, which facing manpower shortage. So in the era of COVID-19 pandemic, where resources are limited and social distancing are required in certain countries, and this limit health personnel and community involvement in the dengue control. So in 2020, we managed to have a field trial to determine our suitability with our available 16 horsepower truck-mounted Fontan mobile star to spray BTI vector-borne WG in an urban commercial site, that is Sibu Central Market, Sarawak, for the control of dengue. And this machine can operate with minimal resources. So the study was conducted in 8-hectare site and performed at night time. So when the human traffic are minimal. So the ULB application of BTI treatment is recommended to be conducted in late evening or early morning, and we also perform spraying efficacy. So only 2 operators were involved to operate the ULB Fontan mobile star and proceed with the BTI spraying. So the operation was completed within 3 hours, including the preparation of the spray mix. And the result of the spraying efficacy were promising, with very good residual control from the spray path and backlands. So after BTI exposure from the ULB machine. So we think this method can be considered as an alternative and effective strategy for the local dengue control program. So other than epidemiological monitoring, you also proactively setting up Aedes monitoring station in the 3 districts to monitor increase and fluctuation of vector population and suppress it with new tools of control. So any indexes above the threshold value were encouraged to initiate any vector control activity as per the national guidelines. So we feel that the WALS or wide area BTS spray application method can be integrated with other control measures carried out in the control program to suppress vector population and autocryptic containers and interrupt disease transmission. And that's the end of my presentation. So we want to express our gratitude to the entomology team and the vector control team from Sibu Division of Health Office for the untiring works to ensure a community free from dengue and all other mosquito-borne diseases. So thank you so much for your interest and attention to my presentation.